Shalom Aleichem, everyone. I'm Stefania, and I want to talk today about the incident at the Oscars between Will Smith and Chris Rock. It's something the whole country's been talking about since the moment it happened, and kind of want to speak about this from a Jewish perspective. And so, if you will indulge me, let's take a look at it. First of all, it's something that everyone wishes never happened. I mean, this is one of those things that, just hit everybody in the gut, I mean, most people didn't even know whether it was real. At the moment that it occurred, I didn't. I wasn't sure. I told my wife had stepped out of the room, and I told her, hey, I think Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock, but I'm not sure. And she thought for sure it was just a prank, a skit, or something like that. But as we all found out later, it was not. It was real. So, all right. So what do we do with it? Well, like I said, most people wish it never happened. But there are some people who are, very much in support of the fact that it happened. One of the most vocal celebrities I've heard about is what's the young lady's name? I forget now. It'll come back to me in a minute. Tiffany Haddish. That's it. Thank you. Whoever called it out there, you reminded me. Tiffany Haddish. Yeah. She's very much saying, oh yeah, I think she says the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen. That's kind of a weird take on this, I think, for a man slapping another man on live television who was nonviolent. But that's, this thing has gone in different directions, man. I mean, people are saying, I'm Team Will. Some people are, I'm Team Chris. And it crosses over. You notice? It's like, I'm Team Will, but he shouldn't have done that. Or I'm Team Chris, but he shouldn't have said that. Or he might have even deserved that. I'm going to say that, taking too many opinions into account can be mind-boggling. I've heard people say that this has a racial component to it. Now you've got a black comedian quipping about a black actress, and her black husband assaults the black comedian, right? But people are saying, some people, not a lot, thank God, but people are saying, well, as you can see, I'm outside here, and I'm dealing with the wind, the sound of the wind, the sound of the waves, and right now the sound of a motorcycle starting up. Everybody's welcome to the beach, though. So, yeah, so some people are actually saying, this incident is evidence that white people are still in control of black people, because Will Smith assaulted Chris Rock for the entertainment of that white audience. True, I'm not making that up. I actually heard this said, on a video. I saw it and heard it being said. But I've also heard that Chris Rock made the joke at the expense of Jada Pinkett Smith, a black woman, to entertain white people. So, like I said, this thing can go in so many different directions. So, let's see. When it comes to Will Smith assaulting Chris Rock, or that's one take, I guess that's mine, but there's also Will Smith defending his wife. Do we really want to? We really want to make that correlation that he was defending his wife against what has been characterized as a vicious verbal insult about her head. her lack of hair. I suppose we can say that people can come to that conclusion that he was just defending his wife. But I do have to wonder then, if that's the case, and if it's justified, all right, is it also justified for every husband to do the same? I wonder, would those same people justify a husband defending his wife against a comment or a joke or what they are characterizing as a vicious verbal assault? And I'm asking this question because of this, all right? I myself am in an interracial marriage. Can you imagine, and I have been for years, for decades, can you imagine what kinds of comments my wife and I may have heard over the decades? Can you imagine who might have made those comments? Can you imagine where I would be right now if I took it upon myself to physically assault everyone who made a comment that insulted my wife, or me, or us both? What about, to take it off of myself for a moment, what about parents and siblings of individuals who have certain limitations or disabilities or challenges, be they physical, be they emotional, mental? Can those people also just say, hey, that comment was insulting, I'm going to take this into my own hands and physically do something about it? I mean, when we give this license to a man to do for his wife, one does have to wonder, are we going to give the same license to a sibling, to a parent, to a cousin, to a grandparent, to do the same for someone that they love when someone spoke out of turn regarding that person? Now, I know some people are saying, well, this was a black woman, and black women are often the brunt, they say, of insults and disgraceful behavior and comments. I'm not going to argue that that's not true. I'm going to tell you this. I myself have a Pinterest board that I've had for many years, and it glorifies the beauty of black women. Now, on my Pinterest board, it's mostly dedicated to women of the African continent. So they might be from different countries in Africa, but they're of the African continent. However, some could be, as far as I know, just people who are moved back there or maybe moved out of there, but they're actually from the United States or Canada or Europe, but they are of African descent like myself. My DNA says that my people come from Nigeria. So this board that I have given it a title, and that title is the Mother of All Living. Okay, and like I said, I've had this board for years. I gave it that title, which it's an obvious nod to a pasuk from the Tanakh in the book of Bereshit, where Adam refers to Chava, Adam refers to Eve as the mother of all living. And so I made this board in dedication to that concept. And it's all African women, well, I should say all black women who are of African descent. Now, that's backed by science as far as I'm concerned, all right? What I mean is, according to geneticists, according to paleontologists, the black woman was the first human from which all of us sprang. Okay, she is the mother of every individual human on the planet, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of what we call race, regardless of nationality or geography. Okay, are you with me? So for me to call her the mother of living is definitely a nod to that. It's an honor. It's in honor of that fact. Okay, so why would anyone want to denigrate or shame or belittle the mother of all living, the black woman? That to me is beyond scope. I don't understand why anyone would want to, for the sake of her blackness, denigrate her. But this is what we see, what we hear that has been happening. So that's fine. I mean, people have their opinions, and I don't mean it's fine in the case that it's acceptable, but we do know that the human condition is such that people will go there, and we have to be able to interpret and understand that everybody doesn't have the same boundaries as everyone else. All right. So, but given that fact, I don't think anybody would disagree that the black woman is, in fact, the mother of all living. I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that Eve from the Bible is, in fact, the mother of all living. And I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that black women don't deserve to be denigrated or belittled or shamed in any way for the sake of their blackness, for the sake of their womanness. But if we're saying that the correct and just response to shaming a black woman is to physically assault the person who did it, if that's what we're saying, and many people are, you can go online, I'm sure you've already seen it. You probably had these discussions at school and at work and at home. If that's what we're saying, then here's my question. Is there a being who, anywhere in the universe, who is even higher and more worthy of honor than the black woman? Is there at least one who deserves more adoration than a black woman? Now, that's what brings me to the Jewish perspective. Okay? Some of you already know where I'm going with this. If you are an atheist or an agnostic, more power to you. I have no problem with you. But for those of us who are believers, for those of us who are of the faithful, we would say that God deserves the highest esteem and the highest honor. As the Jewish people, I can tell you for a fact, we are not permitted to assault someone to the honor of God. We are not permitted to physically attack someone who said something derogatory about our God. It's just not the way it goes. It's just not the way it works. So if I, as a believer in God, cannot assault someone who insults God himself, is it at all permissible, do you think, it's at all permissible that maybe I should assault someone on behalf of my black sister? I can tell you the answer is no. You won't find a single rabbi. Hold off on that just for a second, because I just thought about what I'm saying. In this world today, I'm not going to guarantee what you will or will not find people saying or willing to do. So let me just rephrase that. It will be very, very difficult to find a rabbi, a Jewish clergyman of any kind who would say to you, if someone speaks against God, slap his face. I've never heard it. If someone speaks against your wife, slap his face. I've never heard it. I don't believe it exists. And the reason is because we always have to take into consideration other people and their condition at the time they're saying and doing what they're saying and doing. I don't know what's going on in the mind or the background of a man who curses God. I don't know what just happened to him 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago or, before I showed up on the scene. All I know is I heard what I heard. I didn't like what I heard, but that should be irrelevant. That should be irrelevant. So my position on this is clear. I don't think there's any justification for taking your hand to another man's face for a joke that your wife didn't like. Now, fortunately for me, I have a wife who insists that I never ever do that for her. Okay, she saw the slap on the replay or the video, whatever, and she said, don't ever. Don't ever. That's not even. And now she has been the object of comments, that derogatory comments, because of her skin color and being with me. But she's never, thank God, ever felt that it was worth me taking that next step, either before our judicial system nor before God, but especially before God. And that's just something, like I said, I know some of you are atheists and agnostics, but we as Jews, considering what God thinks about what we do is kind of like part and parcel of who we are. So it's, we have a covenant thing going on, and it's a relationship thing, and it's between us and Him. So just bear with us on that point. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video just to say that I wish it had never happened, like most people. However, I will not justify a man assaulting another man. And before I go, let me just say that as of the recording of this video, the Academy is still out deliberating on what to do with or about Will Smith regarding this issue. Probably Chris Rock too, because so many people are saying, well, what about Chris? What are you going to do about the comment that he made? So, it wasn't scripted. That was another thing that I heard, was that it was the joke was written by Jews, and they pushed Chris Rock out there to tell it. No, it was just off the top of his head, spontaneous, So, so I'm saying that they haven't come to a conclusion yet, because I think when they do, whichever way they go, it's going to be too much for some people and too little for others. I do think something needs to be done, because I think, well, don't we want our society to advance? Don't we want our society to move forward? And this idea that you could hurt people because you don't like what they said, that has to be, well, that's pretty archaic. That's pretty backwards. So just what I'm trying to do is just show a little bit of concern and proper placement from a Jewish perspective on this whole incident. I'm sorry if I'm kind of like, I'm trying to choose my words carefully, because I know that this issue causes people to be very much offended, and I'm trying not to be offensive at the same time that I'm trying to be informative. So pardon my hesitant speech, and thanks for bearing with me with the noise, the background noise, and the people and everything that's going by. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like, give me a thumbs up. If you have something to say, a comment about what I have said, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll respond when I can, when I see them. And if you would subscribe to this channel, that would be great too. I plan to be here all the time with the Jewish perspective on whatever's happening in our lives and the current events of the world. So thanks so much